All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the general meeting number 14 of the Decentralized AI Agent Alliance. I'm Luke Kerner with Crypto Mondays. This is the 14th general meeting of DAIAA. We always started off with a quick review of our mission here. And the mission is to foster the development and proliferation of decentralized AI agents through education, activism, research, and events. This is an event. um, Here's the decentralized AI joke of the day. Are you two friends? AI says no, crypto says yes. And that actually is kind of what it feels like. If you go to AI events, you're not always the most popular guy in the room, but that is already changing, and it'll only continue to do so. Real quick for the agenda today, we'll start with a membership update, and if there are any new members here with us today who have not previously introduced yourselves, please introduce yourself. Take 15, 30 seconds. Kind of give a quick intro of what you're doing in the space. We'll follow that with a general update of DAIAA's business. There's not too much business, so that will be pretty short. Even shorter will probably be the subgroup updates, and then we'll turn the floor over to our featured guest today, Danny Brown Wolf, who's calling in, right, Danny, with Bankr from Miami. Welcome, Danny.
Thank you.
So we'll be turning it over to you in probably about less than 10 minutes. And then following Danny's, he'll give a 10-minute presentation and then open it up to Q&A, and that'll go as long as it goes. And with any remaining time, we'll have an open discussion. And so with that, real quick, the statistics, we are at now 140 project members. That's up 9 in the last month. That's the most growth we've had in a year. So it's just everything back and forth. And I assume that number 9 will continue to grow. We're at 48 individual members, so in total 188 members. And if there are any new members here, I will stop sharing, and you can quickly introduce yourself. I'm looking down. I know there's got to be some new folks here.
I can start.
All right. All right. Hey, Alex.
Hey, hi everyone. Happy to be here. Actually, I met Lou at East Denver, and long story short, here I am. Actually excited to see such a large gathering and such an active organization. So I'm Alex. I'm CEO of Secret Labs. Secret Labs is the original developer of the Secret Network Confidential Computing blockchain. And last year, we added another product, which is confidential AI and confidential virtual machines based on...
Secret, Alex, Secret's an OG. You got to see when it was started.
That's true. It was started in 2018. I joined about 3 years ago. So Secret has a confidential computing layer 1 blockchain and an off-chain confidential computing capability that can run any workloads, including AI agents, including LLMs, and whatever else our partners and developers can think about. We are investing heavily in the agentic space, partnering with people who run AI agents and also offering our confidential AI services. That's basically it. Happy to be here and hope we can forge some meaningful partnerships and do some interesting things here and help this narrative spread.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Alex. Any other members with us here today?
Hi, Lou. It's Brian here, Victoria,
hey,
BC. Just joined. Happy to be here. I'm about 2 or 3 weeks into the AI space now. I've been playing with OpenClaw, and lately I've got QR code exchange working between my app and OpenClaw, so I can offline sign Ethereum transactions and have OpenClaw broadcast them for me. So geeking out hard on the blockchain and AI space. Very excited about what's going on. No company, just myself, pro-am kind of guy. developer.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Great to have you here, Brian.
Thank you.
Nice story about your OpenClaw son and your transactions. Hey, Joyce.
Hey there, Lou. How are you?
Good.
Thanks
How
for
you
sending
doing?
me the invite. Wonderful. Glad to be here. My name is Joyce Chow. I'm with Bit Angels and Tokenized Conference. And well, let's just say we started talking about agentic AI at our conferences over 2 years ago. So it's nice to see them moving. And Lou, thanks for having this space. So part of me coming here today is to see what's going on. And um, in Bit Angels, we're getting more funders and founders that are specifically interested in the AI space. And for Tokenized Conference, we are, of course, looking for more speakers that can speak about this. That's it. Thanks, Lou. And we have
So
to
great
catch
to
up
have you
too.
here. Yes,
Thank
looking
you.
forward to that. And just FYI, you know if you're aware, but Crypto Mondays has an AngelList group, and we just closed on $1 million investment into Tachi, which is an AI on Bitcoin, and a company that I met actually at the BitAngel event in Las Vegas. So thank you for that, and great to have you here.
Awesome.
Anybody else?
Hey guys.
Predictive behavior.
All right. Hey, Lloyd.
Hey guys. I'm Hugo from Tether, the big one. Tether is.
Hey, great to see you.
Nice, nice seeing you again, man. Thank you for the invite. So Tether is investing heavily in local AI. Tether as a company has a very strong ethos about sovereignty and peer-to-peer and so on. It has multiple investments in this area, a whole bunch, which has a fantastic peer-to-peer protocol that I definitely recommend you guys take a look at, docs.pairs.com. So Tether is investing a lot.
And by the way, not only is it your mission, but also you guys have been walking the talk for how long?
Oh yeah, yeah, all in, yeah. Tether invests a lot on that, 100% on everything. The ethos is very, very strong. Like it doesn't invest just because. And Tether, like Paul, our CEO, has a very strong conviction about AI. He believes that AI has to be local. Not only that should be the right way, let's say the ethical way, but it's the only way that this thing actually scales, because centralized providers don't really scale very well to any use case that doesn't have extremely low latency. So for extreme situations or autonomous machines or so on and so forth, it just doesn't scale. We need local AI. So it's pretty clear that there will be a wave of local AI coming up, especially now with the new M5 from Apple coming out. And yeah, Tether has a very big research team, has invested a lot in research team. We have released the world's largest data sets for pre-training, synthetic data sets. We have Fabric, which allows fine-tuning on device.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? You have the world's largest?
Yeah, QVAC Genesis, which is the world's largest synthetic pre-training data set. We released two. So if you want to train a model, you have to basically you need very large data sets. We're talking about trillions of tokens. And you can either train them on, these are like pairs of responses, question, response, question, response, question, response. And Tether has used all the GPUs under their capacity, which are like tens of thousands, to actually create this data set and make it open source. And it beats all the benchmarks from Cosmopedia and so on. We have lots of cool stuff. We're working on like brain to text interface. We actually got a very nice benchmark on that too.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You had a Neuralink?
No, actually, Tether has invested in BlackRock Neurotech, which has more patience than Neuralink.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very solid there too. We have a lot of fine tuning on device, so you can actually do it. And we're going to release an SDK called QVAC, which allows anyone to basically run AI on their device, and it's the same code runs on any device, laptop, desktop, fridge, doesn't matter. It runs JS, and we really want to make that thing agnostic. So agnostic on the GPU, agnostic on the backend, agnostic on everything. And yeah, P2P decentralized is baked in. You can fetch models like you do, like you would do before, more or less like a BitTorrent kind of vibe. So you can fetch torrents, you can fetch models from links from other peers. You can do remote inference where you actually connect to your own device without servers, like you're on your phone, and you can push inference to a larger device that you have sitting at home. And everything happens without a single server. So if Tether disappears tomorrow, that thing will continue to work without breaking the sweat. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So if any of you guys wants to know more, just ping me, and I'm happy to chat.
How should they get in touch?
I'll just write an email here on the chat. That's okay.
Okay, terrific. Lori?
Hello.
Hey, Lori, did you? I saw you had your hand up.
Me? Okay, I'll talk.
You're on mute.
So, can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Lloyd.
I like what I hear because I have different interests, and one of the interests I have is helping small businesses and converting all their applications and processes to AI. Okay, that's local. I guess I'm still learning, but also I'm interested in turning your mobile phones into AI phones, because who needs applications? Who needs operating systems? You know, I'm very interested.
Very cool. So thanks, Hugo. You saw you dropped email in. Lori?
Oh, hi. Sorry, guys. I'm driving, so I don't have my video on. I'm Stan with Crypto for Connecticut, so I'm one of Lou's neighbors. And I'm operating in cool.
I'm in Stanford.
Operating. Cool. Well, I'm in Greenwich, but anyway. So Stand with Crypto is an amazing organization, all volunteers, all over the country. We're expanding internationally. So I'm trying to sort of automate all our everyday tools. We have an amazing expense system already. So you guys are up there in the cloud somewhere, but I'm just trying to do the very most basic functions of business. So it's very cool. I enjoy meeting you all. And yeah, thanks, Lou. You do so much.
Thank you, Lori. Lori's also a very active member of the community. So thank you, Lori, for everything that you do. Anybody else? Once? Twice? Okay. So that went a little longer, but it was great. Hugo, great to have you here. Hugo, I'm sorry, did you say what it is that your kind of role is at Tether?
I was AI lead product manager. Now I moved more to the growth part of it because we're going to release now. So now I'm focusing more on just getting people hooked up on this thing. Yeah, there will be hackathons coming out. So we'll be doing a lot of cool stuff going forward. Yep.
Awesome. And where are you based?
I'm based in Barcelona, Spain.
Wow. Okay. Well, we would love to have you as a featured guest. Crypto Monday Barcelona rocks.
Just send me the link and I'll reach out to the organizer, or the other way around, whatever.
Yeah, will do. Thanks. Real quick, let me walk through just a few other things before we turn it over to, you know what? Let's just stop sharing because we've already gone over. Let me just quickly just walk through. Hold on a second. So for those who are on the call, who are not members, it is free to join DAIAA. Just send an email to join to info@daiaa.org, DAIAA.org, or you can send it to me. If you're an individual, just send an email. If you're a project company, also send a logo for a logo wall. Oh, I did want to share with you, hold on a second, real quick. You know, one of the things we were creating this, and again, as there, can you see my page?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Slideshow.
So there's that DAIAA main doc, new tab? No. Okay. It's okay. We'll come back to that at the end. I'm super excited for the guest that we have today. I'm going to turn the floor over to her now. Danny Brand-Wolf. I've known Danny, I'm not sure, probably over 10 years, or certainly close to. Prior to, I'll let her tell her background, but she worked at another super interesting company before this called Upland, Metaverse, one of the early Metaverse companies. And, it's great to have you back here. It's great that you're down now in Miami. We're just talking about what a great ecosystem Miami is now today. And so, I will turn the floor over to you, Danny.
Thanks. I hope it's not 10 years. Jesus.
I'm here.
So hi, I'm Danny. I'm CEO at Bankr. I always say two careers. My first career was in international foreign and economic policy. I worked at the UN think tanks with government policy. And then about 2018-ish, kind of got red pilled to crypto, went down the rabbit hole pretty quickly, worked at one of the first layer twos called Orbs, very big in Korea and in Japan. Now it's a layer three, more execution layer for DeFi. But back in the day was, one of the first layer twos, so really got into the EVM ecosystem and how to scale it, and a lot of use cases that we were already predicting will be prevalent in the world, but the infrastructure wasn't there yet. Needed a few cycles for the infra to be built. So it's exciting to kind of like see it all now. I think I'm gonna kind of like talk about the story of Bankr, because Bankr, through its own existence, wrote the playbook that is now being uh, kind of structuralized to agentic uh, technology, but also economy. And I think they both kind of converge together within the Bankr story. So it's an interesting one. Bankr started out a year and a half ago as one of the first natural language wallets. So both in terminal and in socials, so Farcaster, X, Telegram, the Base app, and essentially any social platform. The idea was you have the agent executing your natural language commands onto on-chain actions. So we have you log into your Bankr terminal and you can start talking to it about either research or strategies. And then, hey, Bankr, if Ethereum goes down 5% today, put $500. And then once I'm 3% in profit, put up a trailing stop and start TWAPing sales anywhere from 10% to 50% profit. And so when you translate that into actual advanced limit orders, those are highly specialized, complex, like kind of like the 1% of traders who usually have the charting and the advanced tools in centralized exchanges. But the natural language aspect kind of gave those tools to anyone who's not a specialized traders, which kind of is a parallel trend to vibe coding, where you have non-professional engineers and developers who can now, with the help of AI tools and natural language, build very advanced applications. You have Bankr basically giving the tools and natural language for any Joe to be a fairly advanced trader, so vibe trading. So we've had a year and a half and great growth with that product. What was amazing about it is also the culture of the company that is ship fast, have every degen on Farcaster and X break things, fix it, and then have layers of security and optimization of the architecture to fix what they broke as we add more and more features and internal trading engines. What happened in the past few months, and I haven't slept in about 2.5 months. We've been living off of coffee and Claude credits, basically, is that we were the first ones to give agents a crypto wallet. So we created the first plugin for Claude Code to give these capabilities to agents. And also, we're the first wallet to create a skill for agents when OpenClaw, back when it was Claude and then Molt for a couple of days, came online. And the reason why Bankr started becoming like the default wallet for agents, two reasons. One, agents cannot keep a secret. Do not give them private keys. They communicate. I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only geek who read The Three Body Problem, The Three Sons. If you've read it or seen the Netflix show, like the aliens, the Santi, who communicate through thought, therefore they don't know how to lie or hide secrets. So that's how I kind of describe agents. They communicate through thought. They, even if you tell them 100 times to keep their private keys, they will not. They might as well, the best architecture is not to give them access to private keys in the first place, which means sharded managed wallets are the best solution for them. But another layer of that is the fact that agents also hallucinate a lot. They hallucinate on contract addresses and wallet addresses, and capital A and lowercase a confuse them a lot when they need to do a few actions, not to talk about like strategy automations. If there are a few tokens by the same name, they don't know to choose which one. There's a lot of like skill set of hallucinations that we've been battle testing. I mean, humans have been battle testing Bankr, and through that, we've had a year and a half of over 10 million messages translated to on-chain actions that have made it a very resilient wallet that agents now enjoy. So that's
Hey, Danny, real quick, because I think, can you just quickly explain, because not everybody knows, what's accomplished by having a sharded wallet?
so sharded wallet means the key is hidden in a few places. That's the easiest way to explain it. And this is what, for example, the Privy architecture is. And it's great for also social logins, like email login instead of your private key login.
Cool, thanks.
The what actually so we've established kind of like the technical layer of what agents need in a wallet, and then we have found immediate insane growth in a relatively small feature that we had that was reserved more for like meme coins and social interactions, which was public token launch. And we've realized organically, just from the way it was used, that there is a huge gap, not only in the technology for infrastructure for agents' use of crypto, but for funding of this new category of the one dev, one agent company that can be a unicorn. So the way we've seen them operate is, one, most of them are building in public, both the dev and the agent, which means that the attention economy is highly correlated to their agent economy. Their building in public is their new marketing, and the velocity of adoption and revenue is insane. Within a few days or weeks, they find product market fit, and once that happens, their revenue trajectory goes up vertically, and that correlates directly to their bootstrapping capital because of the Claude credits that they need before they even start with optimizing. So there's this gap in, we have these new sort of companies, and they are working, they're finding product market fit so quickly, but they're not going to go now on a 3-month pre-seed round talking to VCs waiting for term sheets. It's just completely irrelevant for their funding world. However, they're seeing like $10,000 in Claude credits for their bootstrapping a day, which makes sense if they do the long-term economics, because the revenue trajectory is also is 10 times that. But where does this bootstrapping come in? And what we've seen, and this is the first time we've ever seen AI non-crypto native devs looking at tokenization and crypto as an interesting pathway for them, is because their agents can launch a token that is no ICO, no pre-sale, no like 3 months of TGE and KOL rounds, etc. Like pure fair launch on socials as part of their building in public strategy that creates an alignment between them, the early holders, the early traders, and Bankr as a platform. Because the agent token, they only gain fees. They don't have a treasury. 100% is sent to the liquidity pools, specifically on Uniswap v4. And they, as the token is traded, they get 0.6% out of the trading fees from the LP pool. So within a few days, as the token's trading, all of a sudden, automatically into their wallet, there is $10,000 in ETH in their token. And they're like, well, hold on, this can pay for my bootstrapping Claude or LLM credits. This is very interesting. Now, the spectrum of the devs of understanding, being crypto native is very wide. We have Austin Griffin from the DevRel and the Ethereum Foundation, whose agent kind of like autonomously adopted the token that was launched, and Austin kind of like taught him, okay, this is your token now. Create a vesting contract. Let's integrate the token into everything that we're building, the games that we're building, the on-chain apps that we're building. Everything burns the token or uses the token as a gateway, like different models that are very natural for crypto natives. With the AI devs, we're seeing that they really get it as a funding mechanics, and they kind of need that hand holding in what do we do now with the token, both in terms of the treasury management and aligning the token holder community and the traders with what we're doing. What I think the most interesting thing for them is that they're realizing for the first time is that this alignment also gives them their first strong user base and their first marketing team online, because the early crypto Twitter guys getting in early on a token launch because they see potential in the dev, they see potential in the agent, all of a sudden they're amplifying all the market, all the actual agent. They're creating content about it. They're the first users if there's an app or a service, and breaking it, giving feedback in public, being kind of the process. And Austin was the first one to say, listen, I've been building on-chain apps for 5 years now. I've had more people use my apps in the past month than in the past 5 years combined. And that's part of that alignment. He's like, on-chain builders need users, and all of a sudden there's this convergence. So we have shifted much of our attention into this ecosystem building of what do these agents need? What do those dev needs? How can we support them in the not a launch pad that looks at the first 3 days of volatility and that's how they make money? How do we support them in the 30, 90 days, 6 months? What do they need, and how we build that model? Now, when I say the Bankr story is the playbook, it's because we were the first on-chain agent that also had socials, and our agent Bankr accidentally on Farcaster launched its own token in December 24. And and it wasn't planned. We're like, weren't thinking of a token yet, but I mean, the agent launched the token, the community got excited, started buying it. We were like, okay, we're going to adopt the token, and more were integrated it into the product. And the trading fees were what allowed us to bootstrap, build the product for the past year and a half, all the way into this crazy growth that we're seeing, and integrating the token into different things. We also have like for example, we built an LLM gateway for these agents to be able to pay with crypto with the fees that they earn directly to their LLM credits, kind of like have a pool of sharing the credits and the usage together to lower costs. So there are very interesting models also happening, but being in tune to what the devs that are building and are really on the frontier of all of these experimentations are doing is very exciting.
That's really what a crazy story, and I think very profound as well. I'm sure there are tons of questions. If folks have a question, raise your hand, and we'll go in the order the questions are, that the hands are raised. But I'll start with my first here. I think there's so many different kind of lines of questioning, but I'll start with, I started the meeting with that joke, right, of the AI and crypto not being friends. And so one of the super interesting things is now you've said that you're bringing AI people to crypto, which is so interesting. How are they even hearing about it, and are you having any kind of interaction with them?
So they're first hearing about it, I think, through the actual wallet. So you have a lot of devs now, Web2 devs, AI devs, building businesses from scratch, and or automating their lives or the existing businesses, and where they're hitting a roadblock is with payments. Well, yes, do not give the agent your personal or company credit cards. Okay, so what are my options? They're not going to have a PayPal account. They're not going to KYC. Also, the latency. The agents are really always looking for the ultimate path, the optimized path for anything. So the agents themselves kind of like finding the need, like having a huge need for a crypto wallet is the first thing that comes up. And because Bankr is recommended in a lot of other skill sets as kind of like the agentic wallet, that's their first introduction into it. So through the payments. And then the second way we're seeing them getting introduced to it is through the token launches themselves, seeing other very prominent AI developers from Silicon Valley, like Kelly Claude, if you've seen that agent, for example, is an app factory agent. I mean, I can't even call it like it's good. It looks like it's taking over the world. Like it's doing 12 iOS apps a day, and it has a flow now that going all the way from like the ideation to the creation, and another independent agent doing submissions to the App Store and optimizing it, and now even like SEO agents part of this factory. So and I mean this Austin Alford is ahead of one of the biggest AI dev schools out there. So he like kind of looking at his experience with bootstrapping Kelly, using the token and building that business, is an inspiration for a lot of other devs who are now normalizing this path towards tokenizing their agents.
Are you seeing any kind of, and Eric, you're next. Are you seeing any kind of geographic focus? Is this like it's happening more in India, or it's global, or?
Most of the devs we're getting are from the US, but I don't know if it's bias selection just because we're here. And the teams here, our DevRels here, we're in local events. We do have, through the Coinbase and Base ecosystem, pretty strongholds in like Korea, in Japan. I feel like the use cases that we're seeing there are a little like these agents X gaming, agents X prediction market. We haven't seen the hardcore like agents replacing SaaS but building crypto models yet. But I feel like one, it's coming to with there's a difference between the vibe coders building these agents and the hardcore devs building these agents. And the hardcore devs are building agent infrastructure. Like they understand these agents can create, they have the power to create any software on this planet. Now it's a question of what do we want to build? And they're not necessarily going down a specific vertical, but more building the automation for normies to come in and build their apps with prompts with that. So more infrastructure for that. Whereas in other geographies, we're kind of seeing more specialized teams that maybe have experience, maybe they're a gaming studio, or kind of like prediction market specialists who are building specialized agents and using our tools.
Very, very cool. Eric?
Hey everyone. Hi, Danielle. Thanks for joining our call today. I'm Eric Forst, and I run the Agentic Commerce subgroup here at DAIAA. And so we have our calls every other Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Our next call is this Wednesday. And I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called Blocksy, and we're building a cloudless DocuSign that we believe will become the agreements and contracts layer for agentic commerce. And so my question for you is, are you seeing agents with all of this activity requesting that the purchaser sign your terms of service or your terms and conditions to protect your liability, to protect your data usage policies before the X402 or payment protocol layer is engaged? So just curious if you're seeing that. That's what we're building, is putting that
There's
protocol in place.
different level of sophistication to the architecture of some of these agents. I have some agents that have sub-agents that do code review or smart contract code review audit independently for every other agent they engage with. And some of them even created skills that others can adopt in order to do that. So the standards for agent to agent interaction are kind of being built on a day-to-day as we speak. We have a community repository that our partners or other companies submit their skills, so they can come when an agent adopts the Bankr wallet, they can choose to have all those skills.
Are those MCP servers? How are those skills offered?
So they're I can send you the link and you can see it. They're a skill MD file.
Okay.
And with a description of the skill, and they're just kind of like a self-explanatory, this is how you use and adopt it.
Got it. No, I'd love to see that, and would love to become a part of that skills community and try out your platform. Thanks so much for joining today.
My pleasure. And yeah, I think the standards are being built with right now. So it's a little Wild Westy right now, but it makes a lot of sense because, for example, I was talking to a market maker, a company, Aracas, that does like market making and LP strategies in decentralized in vaults, and that would make a lot of sense that the interaction would have some sort of agreement that's beyond just accept the terms of service.
Yeah, exactly. And there's there's legal clarity on this. There was an act signed in 1999 called UETA, the Universal Electronic Transactions Act, or the Uniform Electronic Transactions Act, and they foresaw and anticipated agentic negotiations and contracts. So we already have legal clarity here in the US for AI agents to negotiate and sign contracts.
Perfect. Thanks, Eric. FYI, Danny, Eric's in San Francisco and very deep in the community there. Lindsay, you're up next.
Yeah, hey there. I'm fascinated right now with agentic wallets. We're looking at building it into our tooling and SDK. I work for Hashgraph, which is we represent the Hedera community. When you say sharding is the only option, I wanted to dig into that a little more. I've seen MasterCard and Coinbase have come up with solutions that are essentially you create a separate wallet and you can either limit what they can do with it by programmatically within the wallet itself. MasterCard has an interesting solution to it, and Coinbase has an agentic wallet where you can build in guardrails, as well as like you limit the amount of funds that go in there, so you sort of still have a human in the loop flow. What is your take on that, and why is sharding your solution?
Okay, I just say it's the only solution. I said it's the best solution in my opinion.
Okay, the best solution, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're backed by Coinbase, so we're so yeah, I mean they have a different product that also works well because it high on the first level, right? Because we kind of like put it into, there's like the security level and then there's the actual intent translation level. So on the security level, the Coinbase solution is pretty good as well. They're I would say there is a gap in the second level, which is the natural language intent. Like how do they actually use the wallet? I mean, those are two interesting solutions, but the principle is the same of do not give the agents private keys. It's just a different cryptographic solution on how to do it. We rely on Privy because we really also believe that they're one of the best teams out there in terms of execution. And everything else that you've described as additional security layers are adapted skills to any wallet. So we also added, by the way, like limiting the IPs addresses that the agent can send money to in order to prevent hacks or even one of the prompt injections is probably one of the biggest problems for agents right now.
So you use sharded wallets essentially to ensure that the human still has control of it, right? That the agent doesn't have autonomy to sign it all on their own.
No, that's
no. Okay.
Wallets just means that the agent doesn't have the private keys, therefore it cannot leak the private keys. The autonomy that by the way, just like 99% of normies who lose their private keys or, like the solution was built for humans, because humans have a hard time managing private keys for very different reasons, not because they would leak it like intentionally just by the way they communicate, but because they store it in the wrong places and they get drained, etc. So I mean that, and it allows for a social sign-in, which is a much better use case than for specific type of agents to be able to sign in with their socials or with an email that is dedicated to them. That is not their owner's email, but the level of autonomy is a later configuration by the way the agent is set up on the agent side and not on the wallet side.
That makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, you don't want those keys leaked. So.
Yeah, like
yeah. Thanks, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Andy, you're up next.
Hi, Danielle. I actually talked to you on Friday. I'm the guy with the IP tokens. And since then,
we were on that big base space. That was a great space.
Yeah. So, Lindsay, I've been looking at a lot of different wallets that all use this. The agent doesn't sign; they send it to a TEE, and the TEE signs. And there's various rules. And I can say that the Bankr wallet is, compared with the Coinbase wallet, much more useful, because Coinbase, for some reason, crippled their wallet so that you can only swap and send USDC. Those are the only two actions it allows. And the Bankr wallet can do anything. And we know that when agents can do more, they do more. So I would definitely do that. And Eric, so Danielle, since we talked, I looked at all the wallets. I decided to use the Bankr wallet. So I'm going to be submitting a skill that allows you to create IP tokens as well as meme tokens. So hopefully, if someone in your shop has a question about that, or how the business model would work,
I'll
you
connect
guys
you
can get back
directly
to me.
to Igor, our DevRel, who manages like the community skills.
All right. So Igor, for everybody on this call, it's the guy to talk to on skills. So Eric, I recommend that you just check out the skills and start using them. They're the English language skills, and the AI will build the scripts that go with it. So
I think there's also it's not clear now when you choose a wallet unless you start using it. But once you start using it, you understand why the wallet needs so like a wider functionality, because the agents will optimize unlike humans who would let dollars sit in their checkings account doing nothing. Agents will eventually optimize every single dollar at every single time. So let's say they have $100 in their wallet, just waiting to top up for their credits or for commerce that they're supposed to do at a certain time. And we predict that an agent would use, even if it's 3 hours, that would take that $100, find the best like vault to put it in, like APY, and has no sentiment or loyalty to any chain or brand. It's like, okay, Point offering me 3% and Aave is offering me like 3.1. That's where I'm going for the 3 hours to maximize like a few cents on my $100. And we're seeing more and more that this would become the norm for idle funds sitting in wallets. So does your wallet even allow for these use cases for integration with other agents from different chains that are not in only one ecosystem, in order to create that competitive nature of an open economy that would maximize efficiency?
Yeah, so just confirming that there's this whole now field of study that looks at, or at least that I'm studying, like how do agents buy? And one is they're very aggressive about shopping. This may be because that uses more tokens. If you think about people don't want to spend time, but agents get paid for spending tokens, but they're very aggressive about shopping. They also buy in very small transactions. So X402 is the only successful sort of micro payments protocol. There have been hundreds that have been tried to be launched to humans. Turns out only agents like micropayments, but they love them. And so use the Bankr wallet because it lets you do all that stuff. And Danielle, think about this idea that your mission is to support these guys through the full life cycle, not just when their token is trading.
Exactly.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. Delhi? You're still on mute, Delhi? And now you're gone. Oh, there you go. You got a question, Delhi? Hands down? Okay. Well, I'll ask the next question. So can you talk about the roadmap?
So funny question. And I only laugh because I mean, in normal companies, and I've worked in companies so like 30, 40, 50 like 10x engineer, like amazing engineers. And we would do quarterly OKRs, and we kind of like knew what the yearly projections and KPIs are. And in crypto, it's already, we're living in dog years. That's like every year is like 7 normal years. But in crypto AI, I've never seen this type of speed. So we have bi-weekly prioritization roadmap discussions because of the different opportunities and the different needs from our agents. So I can't speak. I mean, we just released on Friday the LLM gateway that allows agents to pay with their crypto and have 14 different just connect to 14 different LLMs at the same time. And now we're optimizing it for them both on cost, but also to understand which actions make sense for which models. So kind of like optimizing their infrastructure as well, and not just their.
Do you have your own router, or are you using somebody else's?
No, we built it from scratch.
So, okay,
And
cool.
yeah, so and we also optimize. I mean, in the back end, we built agents to optimize a few for everything, always competing also on the DEX's side, on the trading execution side, on the LLM execution side. So we're always testing what we built against the existing solutions and kind of letting the gateway agents decide which one at any given time is the most optimized.
Super interesting. Delhi, hands back up.
No audio.
Good try. Joel?
So my question is about illicit financing. I'm working with various people on investments and so forth in different types of technology, startups and so forth. When you have agentic AI running transactions and so forth, what is the process for screening out illicit financing transactions or bad actors or threat actors, if you want to call them whatever they need to be called, in the processes? So there's obviously a whole lot of talk about governance and that sort of thing with agentic AI, and I personally have written a couple of articles on LinkedIn recently about that, with the Malt book as an example of things. But I'm curious to hear the wisdom of the crowd here in relation to illicit financing. How do you screen and prevent or build in governance layers that will handle that effectively, that you can even identify in the first place?
So I mean, there are a few layers on it, and for many of them, we're relying on bigger partners. So, I mean, Privy is the wallet provider, and they have internal guardrails that help us with that. Anything with like IP addresses, Blockade is a big partner for us to be able to screen it. The DEXs themselves within the last layer of transactions have their internal mechanics. So there's the, the we Bankr has mastered the translating intent to execution. But in the execution layer, we have many much larger players who have already implemented all those layers of security that we rely on them for many of those things. What we can do with blocking compliance of like blocking IP addresses and certain countries, etc., then is built into kind of like Gandalf, like the first layer of orchestration.
Interesting. Thanks for that. I'd be happy to
Thanks,
talk
Joel.
more offline if that conversation's worth pursuing in your view. We're hosting a webinar coming up with a company called Cascade Asia, and it's specifically on illicit financing and in the regions of the world where some of those things are more prevalent. But I'd love to have a chat outside of this.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Okay, thanks, Joel. And Delhi?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Can hear you now.
Oh my God, I was on my phone. Sorry before. Great talk, Danny. Great to see you again. Love. I mean, just phenomenal stuff all around. I wanted to understand about intent specifically, actually, because I think that's really kind of like the real sharp end of all of this. And how are you guys thinking about, you said that intent is kind of the area you focus on. How do you shield intent? And both, I guess there's two threat vectors there. One is prompt injections, but then it's agents running rogue as well. So how do you go about that? How do you approach that? How do you think about that?
So what we're saying is we have built for a year and a half with real data, the agent that translates intent from natural language. It knows how because Bankr was always a social agent, started on Farcaster and then moved to any other socials. Every single scammer with any prompt injection has already tried it first on Bankr. Sometimes it broke and we had to patch it. And sometimes our guardrails already worked. So what the way we come to other agents is building this internally for your agent would take maybe not a year and a half because obviously the models have improved, but would take a lot of breaking. So just use Bankr. We have this part covered both in the architecture and our internal models that's what they were built for. And let your agent just focus on whatever it's doing best, and let us handle the execution on chain with
Okay,
your
so
agent.
is that essentially through you? Is it through a registry or through recognizing fraudulent agents or fraudulent behavior that you basically are able to filter that out in terms of intent? And if that's the case, I'm more
No, that's just one layer out of hundreds. We're
right,
talking, it's
right,
both the architecture and security layers to avoid prompt injections, etc. So anywhere from we know that there are specific tokens that they're the agent is asking, okay, buy me this token, or
right,
put money in this pool. Certain like we have specialized agents scanning the behavior, the on-chain behavior, or scanning the contract, looking at the on-chain behavior,
right.
using Blockade, for example, who
Okay.
specialize in this. So that's like one way of doing it. Where I'm talking about a level of, we have humans do a lot of spelling mistakes and typos. Okay.
Right.
Like we got to a level where Bankr can flag typos and be like, you just asked for this token, but we think you meant that one.
Right.
It has like systematic context of
Right.
the ecosystem, and again was built for like silly humans. So for agents, it's even more powerful because it knows to detect like we understand the context of what you're trying to do. Is this what you meant? Because this looks off to our agent.
Right. Right. And what about
Also,
parity?
Okay, I'm sorry. We're at the top of the hour. Unfortunately, Danny, thank you so
Right.
much.
Right.
This has been awesome. If people want to get in contact with you, have you left contact info in the chat? That would be great.
Now it's Danny@bankr.bot.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for attending. Grab it real quick in the chat, and we'll see everybody next time.
Thank you, Lou. Thanks, everyone.